Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SDN Tier 1 Season 6, where tonight we head to the coast of the Netherlands for something entirely out of the ordinary. It is round 8 and it's Zandvoort, but it is reversed. The classic Dutch roller coaster track with its tight, twisty layout and undulating elevation changes has been flipped on its head. The track that has normally known for its high-speed commitment and bank corners now becomes a brutal test of precision car control and adaptability. And as the drivers tackle the reverse layout of Zandvoort for the first time in SDN history on this game, with unfamiliar corner approaches and tricky off-camera exits, tonight is going to be about who can readjust their muscle memory and find rhythm in the chaos. The opening sector now starts downhill in towards the unusual first corner, turn 14, making it run towards turn 1, flat out thrill ride hopefully. Overtaking opportunities are still few and far between, but bold drivers will find a way, especially down towards turn 3, which replaces the usual hairpin. Last week we had the British GP, and let's rewind it back to see what happened there as well, where Kick started from second on the grid. He delivered and controlled a clinical race performance to take his second win of the season, or his first of the season, and in doing so reignites his championship ambitions. While Lucas produced a sensational charge from P6 to finish second and take driver of the day, whilst Christian stunned the grid with his maiden podium in P3. Further back, Power Seam lit up the timer screens with his fast lap of the race from start to the back of the field, and Eric and had to gas, unfortunately, both sustained punches on lap 11 when they both took the tyres too far. There's a race at the pit lane between the McLaren and the Red Bull there. My name is Jamie Morris, and alongside me tonight is the one and only Milan Lange, the Dutchman himself.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and good to be back around a track like this. Although I must say I haven't really had any race around Zandvoort in reverse, nor have I done any commentary around this track, so it's going to be the first time for me around this track, so it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if it's any good for overtaking. I know the normal layout is quite difficult with overtaking, but who knows if the reverse layout provides some new opportunities. But we're out here for qualifying. It is a sprint weekend, so shorter qualifying of course, and everyone will be out on these mediums for their first runs. Like always in sprint qualifying, and the first to start his flying lap, I think, will be the kick Sauber of Thijsie. He rounds, well, really difficult to pronounce the corner numbers right now, because he's going to go in towards what usually is turn 1, but now it's going to be the final corner, and he is going to enter the start-finish straight. Or is he? I think he's actually doing another out lap, so no push lap right now for Thijsie. Wants to get the optimum tire temperature. In his tires, the mediums of course do require a little bit more tire temperature, or takes a little bit more time to get up the temperature, so he is going to stay out for another lap. Kevin behind in the McLaren seems to have started his flying lap. Of course the championship leader is well in the lead of the championship, and definitely the man to beat this season. You can run out wide there onto the garage, you don't really lose too much time, and now into the chicane, really awkward. And on the curb as well, have to avoid having the backhand step out. Now onto the DRS zone, the second DRS zone on this track besides the start-finish straight, now into what usually is turn 9. A very to the inside there, and then back to the outside and back to the inside for the next corner. Want to take a tighter line, because if you get onto that curb on the exit, it will completely drag you off track, then flat out through what now is sort of a kink, and now through Schijfvlak, which is also flat out, but you have to be mindful of the exit as it narrows a little bit. And now down this long twisty section and into this turn 3, the banking, absolutely beautiful corner in reverse, but on the exit it is going to go uphill, and you have to be mindful of the back end wanting to step out. And now in towards the final corner, don't take it too narrow or you will hit the pit exit, and he is going to cross the line. Tyson with a 1:16, but Kevin is going to go quicker. It is going to be a 1:09.427, and the first lap time already under the 1:10s, and Leonard behind in the Red Bull also into the 1:09s, 1:09.8. So a few tenths of a second of our championship leader. And then Happy Meal goes second fastest, 1:09.5. And then comes the Haas of Colin with a 19.8. So it seems like he's done a second out lap as well as Kick starts his flying lap time. But at the moment it is a sight we've seen so many times before the season. Kevin on provisional pole position.
Indeed, and he's won every single race, barring one this season. Barring 2 if you include the British GP. Every single time he's raced, he hasn't won a race. That was back at the Australian Grand Prix. Kick is making his way to the chicane as well. A driver who picked up his form last week at the British GP finally the driving we usually see from Kick in the Williams, as he has been struggling this season and has scored a minimum of like few podiums. Well, Happy Meal goes up to P2, and his confidence will be boosted as well as he took a podium, his maiden podium at the British GP last week in Silverstone after Fireblaze was chasing him down. But Fireblaze made a mistake out of Luffield, and he lost his end plate too. I'm not quite sure how he did that. He just must have lost plane traction there and unfortunately spun the car around and hit the wall. But of course, it must have been a big spin because the runoff area is quite huge around Silverstone. Kick on the banking, makes his way now towards Plusman corner, down in towards the final corner, turn 14, and let's see what the Williams driver can do at his home Grand Prix as he makes his way towards the finish line. He goes DRS enabled as we head towards the line. It's going to be a 9.3, and that is the benchmark for everybody to beat on the mini compound tyres, ahead of Kevin Zundberg and ahead of Happy Meal 2 for good measure, as we've got more people on their flying laps as well. TVH&L, a Mercedes driver out there too. He saw his teammate take the glory back at the Dutch GP, and I believe himself he finished inside the top 10, did TVH&L as well. He is a driver that has a tendency to get knocked out of Q1 sometimes, but, well, most of the time I must say, but in the race, he can claw it back with his race pace, so at least he's got that as well. Kick Sauber last week had a double podium, had a double point score as well with I think Mummy Nick in P9 and Ticey in P10, so good for them for Kick Sauber. Here comes TVH&L as he crosses the line. It's going to be a 18.2. And obviously 9 seconds away from the best lap time as he goes for a second flyer lap around here to make our way through turn 1 and turn 2. And it could be quite difficult to overtake around here as well, especially at the final corner towards turn 1 because there's a flat out left-hander. So I'm quite intrigued to see what the main possibilities are overtaking around him here as well. I don't think turn 3 could be one of them because you break through turn 2 and the straight's not long enough to go through turn 3. So overtaking is going to be somewhat impossible around here, and it's going to be super tricky. So qualifying is going to be super important and pivotal for your race, as Happy Meal goes quickest now, and he's done 3 laps on his semi compound tyres. It's a 9.2 for Happy Meal as he currently occupies first place. 3 laps on his mini compound tyres too, showing that there's still more to come from the Dutchman in first place with more pace in hand. Ticey has gone up to P4 as well in the Kick Sauber, so great attempts from him in the Kick Sauber. They're looking for his best result so far this season and his best qualifying. We know sometimes that both Kick Saubers are on the brink of getting knocked out of Q1 most of the times, or scraping through just to Q2, but sometimes Q3 can be very difficult. Fireblaze, the man in P2, is currently down in P13. Go for a flying lap as he rounds off the right-hander. Now coming towards left-hander, taking a very wide line there. Cut back in and get on the power as soon as you can as we make our way now towards left-hander once again. Flat out to this part as we make our way now towards turn 7. This could be very difficult to follow as well and narrate these corners, but we're going downhill now towards the corner where we saw Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc crash in both separate instances. Hamilton went out wide and smashed into the barriers. Well, I say smashed, he lost his wheel, and Charles Leclerc got tapped by Kimi Antonelli and spun around and retired from that race. And here we go in towards turn 1 now, the final corner. Just be patient on the throttle once again, and let's see what the Ferrari man could do as he crosses the line right now. It's a 9.7 and he pops that Ferrari up into P5.
Decent lap time, well inside the top 5, but he is behind Ticey, Kick Sauber, who usually is not that high up on the order, and there's only 4 minutes to go, so Fireblaze needs to get back into the pit lane as soon as possible if he wants to set another lap out on the softs at the very end of this session. Kevin has gone out, he's on the mediums, and with only 4 minutes to go, I do wonder if he's going to be able to do a set of softs, as he's improving though in the first sector by I think 1.5 tenths of a second. Slightly missed the apex there to the left-hander. Now flat out, have to see if he can find more time on this lap, or if he's going to pull straight back into the pit lane to put on a random set of softs. As he makes his way out of the second sector, he is still up on his time, but at the moment it will not be enough to beat Happy Meal. So I do wonder what the decision will be for the McLaren driver. He goes quite deep into turn 3, in reverse at the normal layout of course. And now flat out towards that final corner, and he is pulling back into the pit, and he knows that this lap time will not be enough for pole position. So he is going back into the pit lane, put on a set of softs, and try again with just over 3 minutes to go. It is Colin who is first out on track on those softs, so he's going out quite early. So in the case that he does mess up his first lap, he at least has the time to slow down, recharge, and try again for a second lap with just over 3 minutes to go. He's on his outlet, the only car out on track, except now Happy Meal going out as well. And Happy Meal still on provisional pole position, so it would be a great sight to see him getting pole position. That will be very impressive from him, as we usually see Kevin at the front by, well, sometimes a few tenths of a second quicker than anyone else. but at the moment he's only down in P3 and he only has 1 lap that will count towards the end. So if he makes a size of mistakes, there could be an opportunity for someone else to steal away pole position for the sprint race. But Colin now coming out of the banking and about to start his flying lap kick, going out as well as Lucas. Lucas still down in P11, so this lap must count for him as well, because at the moment he's 1.5 seconds off and outside the top 10. But of course the sprint race doesn't bring the biggest points home. So if he does find himself near the back during that sprint race, he still has qualifying for the main race to put himself at the front and fight for the better points, as Preference have released there with Octavia and the McLaren of Sheepy Gamer. But we've got 2 minutes to go and all of these drivers are preparing for their final runs, and Happy Meal is the first one to start it.
Indeed, then, as the Mercedes man makes his way towards the line to open up another flying lap around here in Zandvoort with 1 minute and 55 seconds left to go on the clock as we now head towards turn 1, downshifting through 7th gear. May got a bit bogged down there as we head through turn 2. Nice commitment, nice speed as he touches the grass on the outside, but it won't affect him too much as we head down towards this slow chicane. We go now, just be patient with the gears, and there is a McLaren right in front of us. Hopefully he gets out of the way, but Happy Meal is up by a 10th of a second, but the McLaren is not getting out of the way until the very last moment there, so that could have been Kevin Zundberg, maybe Sheepy Gamer, I'm not quite sure. Maybe he gave me a slight toe down the straight, but you don't really need much of a toe, or maybe down the long straight we go. But Happy Meal's made a mistake there. I just went off ball with him and he took a lot of curb. Most people through that particular part of the track in that high speed section does struggle on the curb a lot. It is so easy to get whitewashed on the curb there by understeer and get unfortunately thrown off the track, and that's exactly what happened to Happy Meal as well. Took a lot of curb as Robbie has joined the session, but he'll start down in P14 because there won't be enough time to start a flying lap. Elsewhere, we've got Kick on a flying lap too, as he now makes his way uphill towards the end of the sector, but I don't think it's a lap time. I think majority of people have gone for a second out lap, so it looks like tyre warm-up is an issue around here as we watch our Bob and Lucas. He's 5 tenths up in the sector as he makes his way downhill towards the banked corner of turn 3 we go. Look at that, swooping through, back on the exit, on the traction once again, nice and smooth as you like, as we head down towards the final corner. Takes a very wide approach going towards there, cuts it back in on the power once again, and let's see what Lucas could do as he makes his way now towards the finish line. It's going to be a 9.2, and he still can't beat Happy Meal's lap time on the soft compound tyres then. He's about 8 thousandths of a second off the best time, and he set his best lap time on the soft compound tyres, so quite concerning there for Lucas in P2. He can't break into the 8s, but Kevin Zundberg is on an absolute flyer once again. He's 4 tenths up in the middle sector as he plunges down the hill. Massive lock up on the inside too as he gets the car rotated very nicely. It looks like the cars are rails for that particular part of the track in the banking. Does offer you a bit more grip, and now we head towards the final corner we go, in towards turn 1, which is quite an oxymoron thing to say, but here comes Kevin Zundberg towards the line. He goes, I meant to say juxtaposition, but Kevin goes up into first position. It's an 8.851 and he's 4 tenths clear of Happy Meal in P2, but here comes Mercedes driver as the Dutchman now heads towards the line. It's an 8.9 and he's just under a tenth shy of Kevin Zundberg's best lap time as we now watch Kick around the final corner in the Williams. Fireblaze goes up into P3. Here comes Kick in the Williams as he makes his way towards the line. It's an 8.4. And that is an absolute mighty blistering lap there from Kick in the Williams. He's 4 tenths clear of Kevin Zundberg, and Happy Meal confirming he made a mistake. But Lennon goes up into P3. The German Dutchman goes up into 4th place. And where is Lucas? He's in P6, but he's not a flying lap. Marcus is up into P7. Hatakas is 8th ahead of Ticey, Sheepy Gamer, Saltavia, TVHNL, Colin, and Robbie Jacobs, who will start down in 14th place. But Kick occupies a pole position.
Man, he is in form right now. What a brilliant lap from Kick. 4 tenths quicker than Kevin is, well, very, very impressive indeed. And he indeed will be starting the sprint race from pole position with Kevin alongside him, going towards that run into what is usually the final corner flat out. So it's going to be interesting to see how those drivers will manage. Happy Meal will start from P3, and he is once again finding himself in the opportunity to get a podium position, and Leonard in P4 as well. Great result from him, just ahead of Fireblaze. Lucas down in P6, 7 tenths, almost 8 tenths slower than his teammate. Mels in P7 and Geitegaas in P8 to what will be the final point scoring position for the sprint race. And Ticey in the Kicksauer starts in P9, so does have the opportunity to score some good points tonight, not only in the sprint But if he continues this pace on in qualifying later on for the main race, he might find himself inside the top 10 and able to get some good points on the board for Kick Sauber and himself. But now we are going to be preparing ourselves for the sprint race. Of course, way shorter than the normal race. And I do wonder if softs are going to be able to take it to the end, or if motor drivers are picking the mediums to have that tire wear, or the lack of tire wear, and make it to the end with ease. It could be quite mixed, but I think the medium is generally the tire you want to be on for the sprint race.
Yeah, I agree. The mini compound tyres as well, the lifespan is about 15, 16 laps. Depends how far you can stretch them into the Grand Prix. I know I couldn't do much about it either. I think I took my mediums about 12, 13 laps before they fully dropped off the cliff. And I almost had a punchy towards it. I did a one-stop strategy around here at Zandvoort in a race previously, but I should have done a two-stop. But thanks to my teammate's antics, he dived in and out of the pit lane every single lap I was behind him. So yeah, not fair there from my teammate, because I had no idea he was going to pit. And it was too late to do a two-stop, so I had to go to the end of the Grand Prix. And the lights are about to go away then for the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. The lights are out and we're underway in reverse as we head down towards turn 1. Kick and Kevin are side by side, but Kevin takes the lead already, going down in towards the flat side left-hander of turn 1. In the background is 3 abreast. Look at this, all the cars bunched up around the back. Here we go, there's contact between a few of the guys there. The Williams almost getting taken out by the Red Bull. The Red Bull gets put on the grass, and now let's see if the Williams can take advantage on. Lucas goes around the outside in towards turn 3, has the inside for turn 4, gets ahead, and the Racing Bull and Red Bull are now locked horns in battle between each other as we see the Mercedes driver of Happy Mill trying to get past Hattekas. He goes around the outside, but can he make his stick? He goes a bit deep in the corner, and Hattekas is back through, but no, Happy Mill has the inside line going in towards the next corner. Hattekas a bit out of shape there as well, as the Mercedes opens at third place. He maintains P3 now. Hattekas with a terrible exit sees Lucas on the back of him, with Mel's pile under pressure too, as we head down, plunging down the hill, going down in towards the bank corner we go. The Williams of Lucas is right behind Hattekas as we head down towards the banking. We can see the Red Bull driver just a bit late to the brakes there, defending from his position. Robbie Jacobs has been a few places. A few more people have dropped down in order to TVHNL lose a trash on the grass there. And here comes Sheepy Gamer to get past as Mel's Gamer goes up to P5. Lucas has been caught there, maybe pushed out wide. We have no idea, but he's been relegated down into P6 now, sees the Red Bull on the back of him. Lap 1 has been completed. It is Kevin Zunderberg who leads this Grand Prix ahead of Kick, but Kick is hot on his heels, and he's pretty much right in his sights.
Surprised everyone made it through unscathed through that first corner. It was getting sketchy a little bit. Some drivers going three or two wide into that first corner, but somehow they all survived as Fireblaze is going to get past Leonard. Not a great start for the Ferrari driver. He goes up the inside of the Red Bull, and he's now back up into P7. Leonard dropping a position down to P8, just ahead of Robbe, who started down in P14. 5 positions gained after the opening lap, and now inside the top 9 and can try and chase after the Red Bull driver just ahead of him of Leonard. But at the front it is Kevin Zonneberg who has remained in the lead, or I say remained, he has taken the lead of this race from Kick, but he's still hot on his heels as we go in towards the braking zone of turn 3, and the Williams driver is following that McLaren driver very closely indeed, and he will have the DRS as we go down the start finish straight. Way tight the line there for Kick, bit of a mistake though as he hits the inside curb, which unsettles the rear end, and that disallows him from having a potential go at the McLaren driver down the start finish 8. And Happy Meal is close to the back of the Williams driver as well, showing some good pace tonight, and he has cleared Geitekas. 1 second is the gap between the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Geitekas already dropping behind a little bit and falling into the clutches of Mels in P5, and then Lucas in the Williams. Bit of a sideways moment there for the V-Garb. And now Lucas potentially with a better exit. He's going to use the battery, has in the slipstream. Lucas is going to pull to the inside of Mels, who does not defend at all. And the Williams driver is going to be able to get that position, but Mels still hanging around the outside. Bit of wheel hooking there. Now it's going to turn the inside for the next turn. There's a bit of contact between the two still. On the exit, the Williams is there, but you cannot really go side by side through this corner. But Lucas almost trying to make it work, but unfortunately in the end is unable to do that and slots in right behind the V-Garb, who runs out wide, and now with a better opportunity Lucas breezes past the V-Garb and now is up at the P5, capitalizing from the mistake from Mels, who's now going to try and send one up the inside in towards turn 3, but this time he is unable to get that position back, and Lucas is now up into P5 and will try to chase after Geitekas, but the gap between the two of them is already 1 second, and I do wonder if he's got the DRS. I don't think he has, so he is going to be under pressure once again from Mels down the start finish rate, but I think the gap's a little bit too big for the RB driver to have a real opportunity to try and get past. In the background is Colin going sideways, almost going 3 wide there in towards turn 2 with Sheepy Gamer getting past Octavia as well. It's a sort of a three-way fight, and that is Colin hitting the inside curb, running out wide, which allows TVHNL to go through up into B13. These guys are way behind the top 10, which is trailed by Tycee in the Kick Sauber. But at the front, Kevin, Kick and Happy Meal are separated by only a few tenths of a second. It's already a 1.6 second gap towards Geitenkaas in P4.
2 people from the podium last week at the British GP. Oh, kicked there just almost on the grass on the exit. He went very wide but kept the car pointed in the right direction as Kevin goes a bit deep as well at the corner of Skyflop as we head plunge down the hill in towards turn 3 the back in. Where is Kick? Think about a move as we head down towards the heavy breaker zone we go. Kevin goes a bit deep there. Kick just looking for the right moment, but at the same time though has got to keep the Mercedes. Happy Meal right behind as well. Happy Meal is showing some incredible pace and he manages to withstand the pace of Kick and Kevin in front of him as well. So a three-way fight for first place between all 3 Dutchmen at their home Grand Prix as the DRS has been enabled once again as we head down in towards turn 1. The DRS is automatically shut before the banking as well, and in the normal layouts the DRS is opened on the banking, so I'm quite shocked to see the DRS be shut. Maybe it's because of safety reasons, I'm quite sure, but of course it's a reverse, so we don't know about it. But here we go, another DRS zone out of the chicane, which is usually turn 10, up towards turn 9 we go. And no moves being made there so far. We see some side-by-side action as well between Lucas and Mel's, and we don't really see side-by-side action, especially at this particular part of the track because it's just flat out and high-speed corners. Lucas gets ahead. Geitenkaas makes a mistake in an unusual place where people do make mistakes, but on the entry towards turn 8 and turn 9, and unfortunately has fell foul to that one as he drops down into P6. Now Fireblades puts the Dutchman under pressure in the Red Bull as Kick is right behind once again. But Kevin covers the inside line and he keeps the car planted in the middle of the track there. Kick can't get past Kevin and he stays behind once again. Kick has got to watch out, because Happy Meal is showing some relentless pace so far. One mistake from Kick and Happy Meal is through. So he's got to be meticulous in terms of his attack and knowing when to go at the right time as well. Trying to overtake Kevin, making sure he doesn't make a mistake, and keep Happy Meal behind as well because he looks very quick so far. And here we go towards turn 1 and turn 2. The flat out left-hander, but Kick stays behind for the time being. Then Kevin's doing a really good job so far to just maintain the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's been under massive pressure ever since Kevin took the lead of the Grand Prix. But Kick, I think he's just biding his time, just being time of beating there. But look at this, Happy Meal right behind the Williams driver, but can't get past for the time being. He stays behind the Williams for the time being. Then Happy Meal last week at the British GP, he struggled to stay with the DRS range of the 2 Williams and Lucas and Kick. He was there for the whole time, but just dropped away and in the clutches of the Ferrari driver Fireblades. But this time round here at the Dutch GP, he's showing some formidable pace so far, keeping up with the leaders, but although he's touched the grass on the outside there as well for good measure, but no further harm done as we watch the Williams driver plunge down the hill. And where is he going to strike on Kevin? This could be a place to overtake as well because we don't really see many overtakes out of turn 3 up towards Skyflop at turn 7. So I think Kick there just waited for the right moment as Kevin goes a bit wide there, or Kick took a very acute line going towards the final corner. But the DRS wide open once again for Kick, and let's see if he puts Kevin under pressure on this lap. Here we go, the DRS wide open. Kevin goes defensive, making Kick go all the way around the outside, but not to be so on this occasion as Kevin stays ahead for the time being. Kick gets a better exit though as we watch them go down towards turn 3. Late braking skills there for Kick around the outside, but has the inside line for the next corner. Bit of wheel banging there, bodywork banging between the two, and Kick gets ahead. And will Kevin be vulnerable? Oh, there's contact there as well going down the straight as we head down towards turn 4. Kevin's not giving up just yet against the Williams driver who tried to go for the lead of the Grand Prix as they make contact once again as we have to go in towards left-hander. Kick, all contact once again from the top 2 there, but Kick is finally ahead of Kevin for the time being, but Kevin's doing everything he can to come back into him, and he comes back through the corner as well. Here we go towards turn 7. He's back ahead of the Williams driver as they plunge down the hill. This is an epic scrap between the top 2 in this Grand Prix as we head down towards the braking zone once again, and Kevin still in the lead of the Grand Prix as well. They kept exchanging lines every time in the first and middle centre, but Kevin just got ahead on the inside there. But look at Kick though, looking for a way through, but not to be on this occasion. We round off lap 7 to go on to lap 8, and there is 4 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. This is spectacular racing between the top 2, something we want to see all race long as we now watch these two go up the hill towards turn 1 and turn 2 we go. Kick gets closer and closer with the DRS, but this time round he can't go on the outside towards turn 3. Mel's has got past Geitenkaas and he went a bit deep too in the corner, but kept it all four wheels on the track there, and he puts himself up into P5. Look at that massive wheel spin encountered as well for the Racing Bull driver, so struggling to get traction, and Khatikas is on the back of once again. Is this a move down the inside? It is. Looks to go down the inside. Oh, not enough space given, not enough space given, and I think the RB should have given at least enough space.
Yeah, it was a bit tight there on the entry, and not sure where Khatikas could expect it to go, so a bit unfortunate there. And Miles pulling his elbows out, fighting against the Red Bull, but that was super close as well in the top 3. And Happy Meal is very close to the back of Kick once again as we go towards the break zone. He's going to send one to the inside of turn 3, but Kick has the outside line, is able to carry more speed around the outside and maintains that second place. And he's very close to the back of the McLaren as well, who's going to take a different line as usual. Actually, this time he is quite narrow to the inside, but this is going to allow Kick to have another go at our race leader. Is going to lap 9 of 12, and Kevin fully to the inside of the track, defending his line, and Kick not using any battery and deciding to stay behind for yet another lap as we go towards turn 2. Kevin still in the lead of this race. Behind us, Khatikas and Mels going wheel 2 once again, and Khatikas getting shoved to grass there by the RB, who is putting his elbows out fighting, as Fireblaze is very close behind as well in the front, but at the moment unable to find any move against the Red Bull and still stuck down in P7 as Tyson and Leonard has gone off. Leonard in the Red Bull has spun around out of the chicane, and he's done a reset to track, which I don't think is allowed, and he's down to P13. So it's going to be no points, I think, for the Red Bull driver, down to P14 now as well. Steve Janelle gets past, he's got front wing damage for good measure, so not an ideal moment there for Leonard. But at the front, Kevin, Kick and Happy Meal still close together, like they have been for the entirety of this race. Kick getting very close to the back as we go towards turn 3. Kevin later on the brakes, and Kick with a narrower line, but that allows Kevin to have a better exit as we go towards the final corner. Now 4/10 is the gap between the two of them, which I think should be enough for Kevin to defend against the Williams as we go on to lap 10 for the final 3 laps of this race. Is Kevin going to be able to hold on to his lead, or is there anything Kick can do in these final 3 laps to fight against the McLaren drive? Happy Meal still stuck there in P3, and Lucas, he has closed the gap now as well towards the top 3. The gap is under 0.7 of a second, so he finds himself now within the DRS range. And something has happened down the start-finish straight. I think Tyson has gone off in the kick sideways once, which was in such a good position, running inside the top 10. But it looks like he has gone off, and he now drops down to P13 as well. So a few mistakes there at the back of the field. But same comes out of the front as Khatikas is still trying to find a way past Mels. Was looking to go around the outside of the RB, but there was just not enough space to make a move around there. As it looks like Mels really has got a loose back end. I've seen it multiple times in this race. The back end just wanting to step out, goes out on the grass once again, with Khatikas following him closely. But Kevin, Kick, Happy Meal and Lucas, it's now a 4-way fight. But at the moment, Kevin, he's got the best position. He is low on fuel though, but he's got a full battery to defend against the Williams of Kick, who now comes down the start-finish straight. He's going to deploy the battery, he's going to deploy the DRS, but Kevin is just a little bit too far ahead, it seems, as we go down towards the braking zone of turn 1. The McLaren driver remains out of the Williams, but there's 2 laps to go. And is he going to be able to maintain that? As Khatikas now finally is going to try and go around the outside. There's contact between the two, and Mels getting shown the door there by Khatikas, just like he did on the Red Bull drive a few laps ago. So Mels now down to P7, and Fireblaze gets ahead now as well to put himself inside the top 6.
Such an intense battle between the top 4 with Kevin. Time's running out for Kick. He's been stuck behind for the whole race. Had one big chance to get past him, but Kevin fought relentlessly and valiantly to stay ahead as well. His Kick is just right behind, and he's got the next lap to do it. The last lap will be the next lap. Next lap will be the last lap for Kick to try and get past Kevin Zumberg. So the tyres wearing out. The options are limited. The time is ticking down. Where can Kick strike? Can Kevin defend? He's done a mighty job as Kevin Zumberg to defend against this brutal attack from Kick. Happy Meal must be so frustrated with Kick. Up there in P2, he's in the DRS range and can't get past. He had one go at him, but unfortunately that attempt didn't pay off for him. As in the background, the Red Bull has gone for a spin. The tyres wearing out as well dramatically. You can see the fading, the grain on the tyres. But here comes Kick with the DRS and also the battery being deployed too, as he tries to look for a move. Is it around the outside? There's not enough space given. Try and force Kevin into an unforced error, but he can't do it, unfortunately, as we head down in towards turn 3. kick, trying to put Kevin under massive pressure. He takes the grab on the inside too, as the car just rotates a bit too much there for his liking. But unfortunately, he gets a bad exit, and Kevin's just able to stretch away just a bit more. Can Kevin defend against this? Can Lucas find himself on the podium as well, up into P3? Remember, Lucas was quite a few seconds behind, but he's caught up as well, due to the expense of having Mill kick and fight it off for P1. But as we now head through the left-hander we go, where can Kick make his move? Is it down towards turn through the bank corner? Can he find a way through? But Kevin gets a lovely launch, and he builds up a little bit of a margin over Kick behind him as we head down towards the breaker zone. Can he do it? He's too far back unless he dive bombs, which he wasn't. Oh, look at this, Lucas side by side with Happy Meal, but Happy Meal shows him to the outside line, but Lucas sticks his nose in there. Can Lucas take away P3? There's been a contact as we head down in towards the first corner. Lucas gets ahead as we now watch Kevin Zumberg around the final corner we go, but look at this Kick. Kick is ahead. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kick has won the Grand Prix. He gets ahead. Kevin ran out of fuel. Can you believe that? Lucas finishes in P3, Happy Meal in P4, but Kick gets ahead on the final lap in the final moments, and Happy Meal says it's no fair move from Lucas. Well, I'm afraid, Happy Meal, that's what happens in sprint races. That's what happens when it comes to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Expect those type of moves, unfortunately, and that's going to happen. It's hard but fair racing. Lucas, I think he did everything he's right. I know it's a bit of a short pass, but sometimes that happens in MotoGP. Sorry, that happens in F1. Yeah, not MotoGP, but it happens in F1.
Man, that was so close at the end. I was looking on board with Kevin, and I thought to myself, surely not, he's going to run out of fuel. The engine, the fuel light was flashing for the final few laps, and in the end, out of the final corner towards the finish line, he just ran out of fuel, and Kick saw the opportunity, went for it, and in the end, he is the winner of the sprint race by only 0.2 of a second. So Kick, from pole position, does win the sprint race, but he folded out for the entirety of the race, and Lucas, in the end, from P6 on the grid, finds himself on the podium with that final move on the final lap, on the final corner on Happy Meal. So, but what a great sprint race that was, and hopefully that is a sight of things to come in the main race as well, as it was some great entertainment. But now we move on to regular qualifying again. This time it's going to be short qualifying, so only 18 minutes.
Yes, it is indeed. Then 80 minutes qualifying. It looks a bit gloomy and dark out there at the Dutch GP, and we're going to have short qualified starts right now as well. So we're back to our usual procedure where people use the soft compound tyres, maybe the medium compound tyres, depending on what they've got in the allocations. There is 14 drivers in this qualifying session. Robbie Jacobs did not take part in the sprint qualifying, but he's able to do so in this short qualifying. And let's see what the Aston Martin can do. Had a decent race despite not much practice and preparation for his liking, as Kevin Zumberg will immediately get on the track as well. Can Kevin redeem himself and win the feature race? And let's see what the drivers could do here in qualifying. And Happy Meal says, yeah, because of Kick and Kevin were battling, and Lucas just could get in DRS. Well, I'm afraid that happens sometimes. You learn the hard way, and you definitely learned the hard way today. I don't think Lucas did anything wrong, in my opinion. It's just hard but fair racing. Of course, when the guys battle ahead, the guys behind will start to creep up and crawl. And yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's taken away. But of course, you've got the feature race. There's still some opportunities left in this Grand Prix, in qualifying and the race too. So there's two more chances here. You could take pole or start high up and win the race that way. And you've got a 36-lap race as well, so a long distance endurance, not endurance race, but a long race to go, a 50% race, and hopefully and get a good result. But you've definitely got to do so, so don't be too disheartened. Don't be distracted by the fact that you lost the podium on the last lap and finished in P4. There's still a long way to go. You've got to have that drive mentality. You can't let it bug you, and if you let it bug you, then it certainly will disrupt your performance going into towards the feature race as well. I know plenty of times where you think things are unfair, but in hindsight, you think, fair enough, that was a good move. I know it was a bit of barging at the end of the Grand Prix, but that's what usually happens. Lucas saw a gap, he went for it, made the move stick, and he put himself up into P3, hence why it's P3, and Happy Meal. Yeah, I know it's hard to defend much on the outside, but unfortunately got put in that place. So those are the few words from my perspective there, Happy Meal, and hopefully you can learn. I'm pretty sure Milan agrees with me too.
Yeah, indeed. So unlucky moment, but it's all a learning point. But still, he did a great job, and he's showing the pace that he has. So let's hope he's going to be able to show that again here in qualifying. Kevin has started his first flying up. He's on the hards though. which is an interesting decision. Taisi in the kick sauber, he's on the mediums, and Leonard, Mels, and Octavia. Leonard and Mels both on the mediums, and then Octavia on the soft. So quite a few different tire sets being used right now here in qualifying, as Taisi has spun around in Schijfvlak, so that's an interesting corner to spin around, as it's a flat-out bit, at least on the reverse layout. So looks like he might have clipped the curb, and the kick sauber driver has gone around. And just behind him is Mels in the RB, and then it's Kevin in the McLaren. But I think Mels is backed off, at least he's slowing down a little bit on this lap. So let's see what the first lap times are going to be, if they're going to be anywhere near, as Mels is definitely backed off. So we'll look at Kevin in the McLaren, the man who finished second in qualifying and second in the race as well. Usually a man of first, but not tonight, it seems, at least in the sprint race wise. But he comes out of the final corner as Tyson with 124.3. He has spun around, so that's not any representative lap time. But Kevin comes to the line for what will be a 110.3. Of course, he is on the hard, so it will be slower. But let's see if there's drivers quicker than that. Octavia goes fastest, 109.4. That's more like it, but he is on the soft, so he will be quicker. Happy Meal with a 109.6 on the mediums, and Sheepy Gamer on the mediums as well, where it goes 1,000th of a second quicker than Happy Meal, so quite tight already early on. It seems like Geitenkaas has gone off on his lap. He spun around in turn 8, I think it is, into the gravel trap, so that's an unorthodox place to be in around this track, as Colin goes 6th fastest, 121, so definitely a second outlap as they did in sprint qualifying, as well as Lucas. He's on the hards as well. Let's see what his lap time is going to be as he rounds the final corner. Robbo goes with 115, so he's going to be trying again, but Lucas is going to cross the line for a 110.7, 4/10 of a second behind Kevin on the same tires as Colin has now spun around as well. So quite a few incidents so far. The track does seem like, or the weather at least seems like it's way more overcast than it was in the sprint qualifying and in the sprint race, so track temperatures might be a little bit lower, so the grip levels might be a little bit lower as well. As Leonard comes out of the final corner, Mels goes up to P4 with a 109.7. Let's see what Leonard is going to be able to do, and 109.8 puts it in P5, but at the moment it's Octavia on pole position, but he's the only driver who set his lap time on the softs.
Yeah, we saw, I think, in qualifying, sprint qualifying, the lap times were about an 8, so we're quite a long way distance from that. And I'm pretty sure every single driver will improve as well. But the track conditions should be getting better as well. Kevin Zumberg says the worst track of all time. Even the Dutch people who don't like the home Grand Prix, it's that bad. And I'm quite happy that it's going at the end of 2026. No offense to the Dutch people, of course. But it's a good track for qualified to watch. But in terms of Zobby Jacobs goes up into first place with a 9.286. Does the Aston Martin. So it's an Aston Martin 1-2 so far. Of course, he's done 2 laps on those sets of compound tyres. His first lap, he made a mistake, and he's able to rectify that. But still not really the lap times we're looking for here in the qualifying. We've got Goat Cheese around the final corner in the Red Bull, and let's see what he could do. And he makes his way towards line. Is this going to be in the 8s? It's going to be a 9.4. And he pops that Red Bull up into P2. Kevin Zumberg says might be 7/10 off the reverse track to the top times compared to normal tracks. GG's, says Kevin Zumberg. So yeah, quite a strange aspect to that as well. And I'm not really a big fan of Zandvoort in general. I know it came back in 2021 when Max Verstappen took the win ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And Valtteri Bottas finished in P3 despite ignoring the team order after going for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. But of course, I think Bottas was quite annoyed with team orders because obviously he was the number 2 driver that seat. Well, he's been the number 2 driver for a long, long time. And the reason why I'm saying this because I've got a massive Bottas fan right next to me in the commentary box. So I love to take a dig at Bottas at any given moment. But of course, I don't mean it. It's just all for fun and banter, really. He could do the same thing with Sebastian Vettel, of course, with my favourite driver. Reverse tracks is just some woke nonsense. As Kevin Zumberg, he's absolutely furious in the chat. And reserve. Oh, yeah, reverse. Sorry, I read the wrong thing. But yeah, you misspelled it, so my apologies about that one. But Happy Meal is on the soft compound tyres. 7 minutes of qualifying is already flown by as well. And the first lap time is Robbie Jacobs with a 9.286, 2/10 clear of Geitenkaas up into P2. And they've done multiple laps as well, has Geitenkaas in P2. He's going for another lap as well, despite running out of fuel. And a validation there has the Red Bull driver. So he's wasting laps and wasting time. and he's invalidated already before it's even started. So must have got this the next lap. But I think drivers in this qualifier session are limited on the soft compound tyres. Hence why we see some people on the mediums of the hard compound tyres as we see Red Bull emerge out of the pit lane. But here comes Happy Meal as he flies through turn 1, a bit disgruntled, a bit unhappy. Ironically, that wasn't a pun. But yeah, a bit unhappy at the sprint race when he felt like he got misdemeanored by Lucas in the final corner. But of course, it's hard but fair race, and you learn the hard way, unfortunately. And he got a taste of that as we now go towards the right-hander in towards fourth gear. This is turn 9 in normal layout, or turn 10, sorry, as we now flick our way through up towards the left-hander in third gear, packing the power as soon as you can. As we now head towards the flat-out left-hander we go. And these are lovely sequence of corners, especially downhill as well. Maybe not the driver's favourites, but it's really good to watch the drivers plunge down the hill as he's 5/10 up in this middle sector as we head down towards the heavy braking zone in towards the back corner. And I think this back corner invites a lot of grip as well, being so steep as we now head towards left-hander flat out. As we now go towards the final corner, very important to keep it nice and tidy as he slows the car down, back on the throttle once again, DRS wide open shortly, and let's see what the Happy Meal can do. It's an 8.9, so we're still not quite close to what we're seeing in sprint qualifying. The best lap time was an 8.4, and Tyson goes up to P5. We're still half a second away from the best qualifiers so far, set by Kick in the Williams. Neither Kick or Lucas have set relatively competitive lap times down in P10 and P13. Kevin Zumberg neither has set a competitive lap time in 9th place there either, just trying to settle in, and he did bankers on the hard compound tyres and mediums as well. We're halfway through qualifying, and so far it is Happy Meal on pole.
Kevin, though, has started another lap. He switched on a brand new set of softs. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. He needs to find at least 1.3 seconds or 1.4 to beat the time of Happy Meal in the 108. Let's see how much time he finds after the first sector. Already 5 minutes up through sector 1. He needs to repeat that for the second and final sectors as well to be up there as Lucas starts his final lap. Kick does so as well. 2 Williams drivers. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Kick, of course, our pole sitter in the sprint race, so we know he is going to be quick. But Kevin now makes his way towards Schijfvlak. His teammate's up by 2/10 of a second, but let's see how much he has gained in the middle sector. He is now 9/10 of a second off, so he is 9/10 of a second up, and he's getting closer to that lap time of Happy Meal as there's the kick shower of Tyson going around the final corner. But what about Sheepy Gamer? He's in a bit of traffic. Red Bull just ahead of him. Let's hope he didn't get impeded too much. So he crossed the line to go up to P3 with a good lap time. But Kevin, is he going to take the fastest lap time as he crosses the line? And yes, he does. 108.872 only by 63 thousandths of a second. But Kevin is back on provisional pole position. But I'm wondering if that time is going to be beaten by anyone around here. As Fireblaze, one of the few drivers who hasn't had a lap time yet. Let's see what he's going to be able to do on his first attempt. He goes to P4 with a 109.3 as Mels goes to P3, 4/10 of a second up. Then we look at the 2 Williams drivers of Lucas and Kick. Lucas is up first, and he is going to go only P3 and 3/10 of a second up. What about Kick? His banker lap. He is backed off, it seems, and he's going to start another one, I think, right now. As a 113.8 is definitely not going to be quick enough, so we ride on board with the Williams down towards turns 1 and 2. He has beaten Kevin in qualifying in the sprint race as well, although maybe due to a little bit of luck, especially not from Kevin's side. He got quite unlucky with the fuel. So is Kick going to get a bit of a slipstream from his teammate? I don't think he is really, as Happy Meal goes quickest again with a 108.8, and he has beaten Kevin by 53 thousandths of a second, so it's so close between those two. But let's see where Kick is going to be in that picture. Is he going to be a few tenths of a second ahead, or is he going to be around the same area in the very high 8s as he makes his way towards Schijfvlak at the end of the second sector? He needs to find 5 seconds on this lap. He's already up by 3 seconds. Of course, we don't know how much he's lost by backing off on his previous lap, but now he's going to go towards the banking, turn 3, and now on the exit. It's really crucial to put the power down carefully because it's going to be uphill. And the back end wants to step out there. Now towards the final corner, turning in quite early, just like he did in the sprint race as well. He comes out of the final corner. Kick is going to be quick enough to beat Happy Meal. He is going to cross the line for a 108.825. Puts it in between Happy Meal and Kevin. 6 thousandths of a second away from Happy Meal on pole position.
Wow, that's incredibly tight, especially a track like this as well. It can be very difficult for the corners, of course, high speed and chicanes as well. Kevin Zumberg is not happy in the chat. Sorry, he's complaining about this track, and yeah, he said he'd rather chop his balls off than drive this woke track ever again. And Sheepy Gamer says he could have done 8.9 but bottled it. He's currently down in P9. An 8.9 would have put him up into P4 where Lennon is, as he said. He took so much curb on the entry there. So plenty to rectify and learn from your mistakes going in towards the next laps as well. And I think as well, with the sprint qualifying, you really are limited with the amount of soft compound tyres you use as well. And you can be very careful with the tyre allocation as well, because it could affect you going in towards the race. So just got to pick your choices wisely. Let's see what Colin can do in the Haas in 14th place. Of course, had a shocker of a race back at the British GP, spun around and got a puncher. He's got down to P14. To be fair to him, it's not really a Division 1 driver. I think he's in Division 3, if I'm not mistaken, or being too harsh about it. But ever since he's raced here, his track record hasn't been that great. He has scored no points this season, been outside the top 10 majority of the times. But at least one thing, though, it keeps going no matter what. And he's basically here for the numbers, which is good to see from Colin, despite not having the pace contending with other people. It's a 10.063 for him in the Haas, 4 tenths away from TVH&L in P13. Oh, and I think every single driver here is Dutch except Robbie Jacobs in P7. He's from Belgium. I did get mistaken from him as a Dutchie, but he is from Belgium. But yeah, pretty much a Dutch set grid with the Belgium in P7 and an English and Dutch commentator along in the commentary box. There is 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go on the clock. And of course as well, this time next week I will be here. Not in Zandvoort, but in the Netherlands. I think me and Milan, well obviously Milan's going to be the Netherlands because he lives there. But I will be in the Netherlands next week, this time as well. I'm not quite sure if I'm obviously not drinking, but I'm probably going bowling as well. Yeah, this time next week I'll be bowling with the LT boys, and I cannot wait. It's going to be such an enjoyable experience. Not talk about bowling, of course, but talk about the actual event of Lelystad, which is happening, of the 24-hour race, which is next week. And guess what? The driver in 3rd place will be commentating with us. Me, Milan Langer, Kevin Zumberg, Alex Gabrisch, Jules van der Velden as a standby. He is injured. Bjorn Smit and possibly Sem, who will be possibly joining us for the 24-hour race in Lelystad. So I cannot wait. The grid walk, however, is happening. And whilst we've got a bit of a lull, I thought I'd promote it because obviously I could do it on my own channel. The grid walk will be on the Indigo channel, as we will have somebody live stream it. I'll have a clip-on mic with me and an actual microphone with me too in my hand whilst the camera is following me. And we'll do the grid walks as well. So you'll see me this time next week live on my own channel, but you see my face and see how good looking I am in my own suit. So watch out for that. I think the stream will start about 10:45 on Saturday morning, so watch out for that. It's going to be an epic event with about 32 teams racing for the 24-hour event. Driver swaps, pit stop strategies, long endurance rating, fatigue as well. Drivers exhausted with driver swaps, and multiple drivers doing multiple stints as well. Some drivers haven't got a lot of people in their team, about 7 or 8, which you need about 10 if you want to make it to the morning and nights. But the Williams got out of the way for Robbie Jacobs there. The Williams out of the pit lane. Robbie Jacobs is down the first set by 300 of a second. Oh, that was super close. I think Robbie Jacobs got furious with both Williams drivers there. Oh my goodness, calm down, Robbie. It wasn't that deep. But yeah, he was very, very furious. It is fair to be fair. Well, not fair, but it's understandable because it's in his line of vision, really. It's in his preferential vision. It didn't really hold him up or anything, but you don't know what the Williams was going to do. And unfortunately, Robbie Jacobs there had to back off. So on board with the next man. But Milan, how are you feeling for Lelystad, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to be very excited as well. It's going to be the first time for both of us commentating in real life, and it's on a 24-hour event in the Netherlands as well. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Not only the commentating, but the entire event as it being itself. It's going to be amazing, great fun, and I am genuinely looking forward to it. So just only a week away. Time is absolutely flying by. Feels like yesterday when we said it was like 2 months away. But now it's going to be next week. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And I'm looking forward to being there. But for now, we get the focus on this race, on this qualifying session. And Robert has started another flying lap in the Aston Martin. So has everyone else ahead of him. Happy Meal and Kick and Kevin and Leonard all trying to improve on the lap, although Kevin has backed off, so I think he's got the time to do another lap. Yes, he has 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, and Kick has backed off as well, and so has Happy Meal, so they're all backing off inside the top 3, and Leonard as well still on outlap, and Lucas, so Robert seems like it's going to be the first one on his final flying lap. Let's see if he finds a little bit more time now that he doesn't get held up by either of the Williams drivers as he makes his way through Schijfvlak at the end. So Ferrari of Firebliss just ahead of him, and he's up by 0.2 of a second. And if he continues that on in that final sector, he should be on the second row alongside Kevin, for the time being at least, as he comes out of turn 3, turn 2, and out towards turn 1. It feels a bit strange saying that, of course. It's now going to be the final corner on the reverse layout. There's 35 seconds remaining in the session. Everyone's out there on a push lap as Robert crosses the line, and he is going to go up into P3, beats Kevin at 12 thousandths of a second. Look at the top 4, 500s. Oh, and he's crashed on the pit end with the pit wall. Let's hope he doesn't hold up anyone, but it's so incredibly close between the top 4. Let's see if Happy Meal, he's not up on his time, he's down by 1/10 through the first sector. Kick has just started his flying lap. Kevin is up by 39 thousandths of a second. It is going to be super close as we all cross the line as Shippy Gamer starts his final flying lap. And I think up next is going to be Mels in the RB. He's the first one to finish his lap, and the flag has fallen. Mels from P7 goes up to P5, finds just over 1/10 of a second in the final sector. Next up will be Geitenkaas in a Rebel. Bit of a twitch out of the final corner. Let's see if it costs him a lot of time as he's going to cross the line. And he goes up to P5, beats the RB. Next up will be Tyson in the Kick Sauber. He doesn't improve, and he is going to be down in P11. What about Octavia just behind in the Aston Martin? He goes up into P9, but our sights are set on the top 3. Happy Meal is going to cross the line. He does not improve his time. But what about Kevin? He's up by 55 thousandths of a second. He's going to cross the line, and he doesn't make it. And he's 44 thousandths behind. Robert has arrived on the session. It's only Kick who can beat Happy Meal as he is going to cross the line. Is Kick going to go for the back-to-back pole positions here at Zandvoort Reverse? Yes, he is. 108.781, and that's once again a brilliant lap time from Kick, and he puts it on pole by 37 thousandths of a second ahead of Happy Meal, and I don't think anyone else is on that. Well, Lucas is in the other Williams, but he's not up by much. He improves to P6 again, so he's going to start the sprint race from P6, another main race as well from P6. But what a lap from Kick. He is on pole for the main race. Just look how close it is between the top 4, top 5.
What's going to happen in the race as well? Because Kick, remember in the first lap of the Grand Prix when the lights went out, he got jumped by Kevin Zumberg, so could the same thing happen here as well? And Happy Meal has the inside line going in towards turn 1, the preferred inside line, and will he take the lead of the Grand Prix? But once again, a strong cover qualifying session there for Kick, and also Robbie Jacobs as well in P3. And I think Robbie Jacobs will be very happy despite the minimal preparation he's had in this race so far, out qualifying Kevin Zumberg as well. And we're 3/10 away from pole position in the sprint qualifying. So it looks like the time has got a bit slower here, but it is Kick on pole once again here in qualifying. And Lucas starts on the P6, so once again P6 for him. He did catch up as well during the course of the sprint race, but Kick is on pole after continuing his impressive performance from the sprint race here, and also the British GP. Happy Meal starts P2 ahead of Robbie Jacobs, the Belgian, ahead of Kevin Zumberg, Fireblaze P5 ahead of Lucas, Geitenkaas P7 ahead of Mels, Marcus, LS3, and Octavia rounds off the top 10. I'm not surprised. It's not a surprise I'm not pole, mate. I expect to not even to the top 10. Kevin starts himself. He really is very frustrated here as well. He's not thinking, what's that term? He's not thinking, he's not being pragmatic about it, is Kevin. And he's absolutely furious with himself as well. But P4 still a good start, still a good way to start. And I'm pretty sure he'll make a recovery drive as well. I'm sure of it. Ivan, Mike, unfortunately not here either. I don't think AMS Eric is here either. And we're missing quite a few people here as well. So not the expected turnout. I thought it could be a full grid with the Dutch people at their home Grand Prix. But we had more of a Silverstone at my home Grand Prix than the people at their own home Grand Prix. But back to Lelystad, Milan. Wow, my heart is absolutely beating, mate. It's just 1 week, mate. And this time next week, I will be in the Netherlands to be with my lot playing bowling. And I just cannot wait. It's going to be super exciting, mate. I just can't tell you how nervous, excited, happy I am. It's going to be a massive change for us in the future. Our first time commentating real life. But here we go then. We'll talk about it later. 4 or 5 lights. And we are underway once again for the feature race here at the Dutch GP. And a lightning start there for Happy Meal. Robbie Jacobs is up into P2. He takes away P2 from the Mercedes as we go side by side. Three abreast in the background we go. Kevin Zubik's off the track. The championship leader goes off the track. He's also on a turn 2. He got squeezed out of the track there. We were three abreast. He's at the back of the grid. Mel's and Fireblades in a battle for P5. And the Williams goes up into P5 ahead of the Ferrari. The Ferrari gets out of shape, but now I think the Red Bull drivers alongside him as we head down in towards turn number 4 we go. But the Ferrari's back up to the inside of the racing ball. But lost traction there and stays behind the Ferrari for the time being. It is Robbie Jacobs with the lightest start from P3 to P1 ahead of Kick. Happy Meal lost a place there to Kick. And Robbie Jacobs too as he's demoted. Contact and he spins and he saves the car. Nice save there, but I dare say that was not a place to go down the inside. He was too far back and he paid the price for that one as well as Kevin overtakes Colin for P13. So the championship leader is down into P13. It's going to be a recovery drive for him down there in 30th place. I butchered at the start because it is quite difficult to follow. I really did struggle to follow. Plus the camera angle I had was horrible too. Here we go down towards turn 1. DRS will be enabled then as Robbie Jacobs a Kick in a battle once again. This time Kick is following somebody like he did in the sprint race, but this time it's not Kevin Zumberg. It is Robbie Jacobs, the Belgian driver who took part late on in the qualifying, started in last place, and now he's up into first place here in the feature race with Happy Meal in P3. So it's like a repeat of what happened in the sprint race, but this time it is Robbie Jacobs who's leading and not Kevin Zumberg.
High drama at the start of the championship, really getting spun around and Robert with a lightning start to take P1 away. And Kick now once again finds himself in second place, just once again losing the lead at the start. This time it is to the Aston Martin and not to the McLaren. Happy Meal still in that P3 position, just ahead of Lucas, who's got a good start, 2 positions gained. Up to P4 and in the background, Mels is on his charge back getting past Tice. He's up to P11 and Kevin Zonnenberg will soon be doing the same in the McLaren, but we come out of what used to be turn 3 at the end of lap 2. DRS has been enabled and is Kick going to go for the move immediately as Robbie Jacobs with a bit of an interesting approach going into the final corner, and that is going to allow Kick to have a real opportunity. He's going to pull to the inside already with the help of Slipstream. ERS and Kick is going to take back the lead of this race immediately on to lap 3, and the Williams is back in front of the Aston Martin. Robin drops down to P2, still close there. He's going to have half a look up the inside going into turn 2, but he realizes that is not the place to overtake and he slots in behind the Williams, and Happy Meal once again finds himself following the 2 race leaders in P3, then Lucas in P4, Firebase in P5, Geitenkaas in P6. He is on the hards and he's the first and only driver to be on that tire right now. Everyone else is on the medium. Stocktavia in P7, just ahead of Leonard in the other Red Bull, and Sheepy Gamer down in P9, just ahead of TVHNL. Rounding out the top 10 as Kevin Zonnenberg has already got past Ticey as well. He's up to P12 and he spins on the entry of turn 8, hits the grass on the outside, and around goes the McLaren again. A dramatic race so far for Kevin. Missed out the sprint race win due to underfueling, and now spinning out twice in the race on the opening lap. Not sure if it was his fault, but this sure is a driver error. He's down to P14 and way behind the rest of the field, as at the front Kick is building a gap already of almost 1 second towards Robben, who is almost holding up the cars behind of Happy Meal, Lucas and Fireblaze. But Kick has got some blistering pace right now in this race. It's the fast lap as well with a 1:11.6, and Robben is struggling to follow the Williams driver through on this lap. But I'll tell you right now, unfortunately I do have to leave right now to host somewhere else, but I do hope you all enjoy the rest of this race. I will be back in 2 weeks time, of course, because like Jamie said, neither of us will be there next week, but I will be back very soon in 2 weeks time. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll be very back soon.
See you next week on Monday, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you in the commentary box. Thank you for your insights. Robbie Jacobs spun! Oh, he spun! Oh, no, he touched the grass on the outside and he rejoins in P8, resets track. But yeah, Milan, thank you very much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the commentary box, and also Robbie Jacobs retired on the track as well, so he's rage quit right there and then. But the gap's 1.3. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box. It's been a pleasure to have you, and thank you once again for all your insights, all your effort, help, and entertainment, mate. You've been an absolute pleasure to commentate all season long in SDN. I know it's a bit frustrating now you got to leave early every single week, but hopefully we can have something sorted out in the future to make you want to be here full time. But yeah, I appreciate all the help and everything you do, mate. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well, and see you next time. Goodbye.
See you next week in the Netherlands, mate.
Right.
So Milan Langer has left the party. It's just me now to host this race. There is 31 laps left to go, and Kick has built up a 1 second gap over Happy Meal. That was crucial as well because Robbie Jacobs was struggling to stay with the pace of the leaders in front of him, and now he's fell foul and he's retired from the race. And Happy Meal all of a sudden finds himself Williams behind him. Happy Meal was chasing down Kick the whole time in the sprint race, but this time round doesn't have the pace to contend with and can't get himself within that lucrative, all-important DRS range of Kick. However, though, he's got a lot of defending to do because the guys behind looking very hungry for a podium. That's Lucas and Fireblades in P3 and P4. Fireblades a bit under the radar in this race so far, and especially in the sprint qualifier as well. Not really, hasn't had any highlights, but currently running in P4 so far, and on the back of Lucas and Happy Meal too. Happy Meal, though, just can't get himself with the DRS range, can he? The gap is 1.1, and he's so tantalisingly close towards the back of the DRS range of Kick, but just can't seem to get himself in it. So it looks like Kick is doing a mega job to keep that gap just over a second, and over a second he needs, but of course pushing hard as much as they can. Which driver is the first to bail as well? Which driver can soak, because each driver will be driving so hard and on the edge, first and second place, to get themselves within and out of DRS range. And when you're on the limit all the time, one of you is about to make a mistake because it's so difficult to keep this gap consistent at all times. So which driver will put into mistake? And we'll see if Happy Meal can get himself with the DRS range. Let's see if Kick can get himself out of DRS range. And this is what I love as well, because both drivers are pushing relentlessly hard in this race. But unfortunately, Happy Meal is just so frustrated. And sometimes when you're chasing somebody down to get yourself in the DRS range, you make more mistakes. You push the limits. You go beyond the limits and make more mistakes as well. So he could, for example, outbrake himself, lose traction because he's just so desperate to get that gap under a second, but he can't do so. It keeps fluctuating in and out all the time. 1.0, 1.1. It just can't get down to 9/10 at the right part of the track. Can't happen more. So Kick's pace has been so good, so consistent, but he's got to do this every single lap and build up a gap if he can. He's managed it so well, but for how long? Now that is the question. He's derated, they're both derated. You can see the amount of EUS they both used on the straight. For example, should Happy Meal let Lucas through? And that's a bizarre thing to say because obviously Lucas is teammates with Kick, but Happy Meal for 1 second was almost in DRS range there of Kick, but just out of it momentarily. If it was a different driver behind, I would let the guy behind me go so I could get DRS on the back of Kick. But of course it's Lucas, so are you ready to take that risk? Because obviously both Williams drivers are working together in terms of the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship, because actually both Ferraris, Williams and McLarens are in a championship fight so far. Kevin's still in this Grand Prix in 12th place, so he's not giving up just yet, unlike Robbie Jacobs, who made one mistake and goes. Sorry, Robbie, but it had to be said. But he's 1.6 behind TVH and L. Ticey and NL and Mel's are scrapping away for P9 in the Grand Prix, just at the mere end of the top 10. And who's gone for a spin? Kevin Zubek again. Oh, it's the Racing Bull, unfortunately, who's gone for a spin. Remember that massive crash in F2 at the top of the hill there? I bet Happy Meal must be so frustrated, but it's so important as well to keep your nerves calm. I know he's very annoyed right now, sat in P2, just tries to get himself in the DRS range, but the best drivers keep focused and try to hit every single corner, apex, to spot the braking points, get back on the power at the right time as well. And that's why concentration and mentality is so high in league racing. I know it's a game, but at the same time though, it does put a lot of stress on drivers. And finally, Happy Meal is a DRS range of Kick, so he finally gets himself within that DRS range, and also he can start to breathe and relax a little bit because he can now harvest battery, he can save energy. He was lacking energy. Same with Kick as well, because they're both abusing the ERS, trying to get within and stay out of each other's DRS. But now, Happy Meal's within DRS range, and Kick can't do anything now because when you're in somebody's DRS range, it is just so difficult to get that gap back up to 1 second. So I think for Kick's sake, just focus on battery saving and focus on the guy behind. You had a little bit of freedom to Kick, but now it's been, unfortunately for him, washed away with Happy Meal on the back of him. Happy Meal picked up his maiden podium at the British GP in 3rd place. His first podium ever in Division 1 of Fireblaze has dropped himself out of DRS range. It's the top 3 like it was back in Silverstone. The top 3 Kick, Happy Meal and Lucas within each other's DRS, and Happy Meal is about to attack him as well, going down in towards the second left-hander, but he goes on the grass, makes a small mistake, and Lucas will be there to attack as well. So Happy Meal is in a Williams sandwich, and a sandwich I don't want to be in either. We know Kick and Lucas are super quick on their days as well. They work in harmony very well together as well. Don't underestimate the power of teammates of Kick and Lucas, because they are very good in terms of working together and getting a maximum amount of points and results as well. However, Fireblaze in the background just tried to stay within DRS range of Lucas in front of him, but he's able to do so. Now he's 8 tenths behind. He's also desperate still in the back of the battle. Do you know what? It might be the same top 4 like he was back in Silverstone as well. The same top 4 with Fireblaze in 4th place. Kevin Zundberg is 4 tenths behind Octavia and Tyson as Lucas goes a bit deeper towards the corner there, just taking a offline approach as he was hot at the back of Happy Meal's heels. But got to be very careful not to at the back of him, because turn 3 invites you down. It sucks you into the balls to break it, so it's very easy as well to get caught out. And Kevin Zundberg now on the back of Octavia going in towards the final corner. Look like he's trying to set himself up as Happy Meal's right behind. Let's see what happens. There we go. The battle between the top 2 intensifies once again between Lucas, Kick and Happy Meal. And this time Kick is the one on the defensive, not on the attack, just like it was back at the sprint qualifying or the sprint race. Because Kick spent the most of the time defending, attacking, but this time in this Grand Prix it's roles reversed, and he finds himself defending from Happy Meal in P2, followed by Lucas and Fireblaze as well, also on the heels. Both Red Bull drivers are splitting strategies of P5 and P6, as Sheepy Gamer is on the back of Lennon for P6 in the Red Bull there. Sheepy Gamer has done a mega job, also a driver who used to race for Division 2, now promoted up into the big league in Division 1, and currently running 7th place there, doing a mega job. And Kevin Zundberg did get past Octavia and TVHNL, he's up into 9th place, he's still going, so fair play. I thought he'd given up by 2 spins, but he's still going, he's a long way off the leader course. The leaders are about 10 seconds ahead. As we plunge down the hill once again in turn 3, you can tell he's been off the grass, been into gravel there, because the car's so dirty as well, so you can definitely tell he's been in for an excursion off the grass. But here we go, once again between the Williams and the Mercedes. Happy Meal takes the lead of the Grand Prix before turn 1, and let's see then what happens with Kick now in P2. It could be difficult for Happy Meal to break away on pure pace. And I think Kick will do the same thing as he did in the sprint race. Just bide his time, sit there patiently and wait for the right moment to open up to attack on Happy Meal in first place. Do you know what? It'd be nice for Happy Meal to get his first win of the season, but at the same time, though, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of pressure to do. In P2 and P3, you got 2 Williams drivers who are super competitive, super quick and super hot. Forget I said that. Yeah, super quick, I meant. But yeah, both Williams drivers in P2 and P3 would definitely keep Happy Meals on his toes for the remainder of the Grand Prix. Look at Happy Meal though, he's actually stressing away in the Mercedes there, so good pace there from the Mercedes, but I don't think that pace will be good enough to break out the DRS range of Kick and Lucas. But so far so good for Happy Meal. That'd be a mega result, you know, getting your first podium of the season back at the British GP, and all of a sudden a win could be the cards. But there's a lot of work to do in the Grand Prix, plus there's still pit stops involved. And we know what happens around here in Zandvoort. It is super easy to pick up a 10-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. Look who's caught up. Mr. Goat Cheese himself in P5. He was out of DRS range, but of course he's on the hard compound tyres, the most durable tyres out of the 3 compounds we have allocated for us. So expect his tyres to be in a lot better shape and form. And also Fireblaze is getting closer towards Lucas as well. So the top 5 all Dutchmen's, with both Williams and P2 and P3, can work together as well in this Grand Prix to get the best result. On board with Lennon and Shiba Gamer, this battle for P6 still going between these two. And Lennon, who has dropped off the pace a little bit. Somebody has... sorry about that. Somebody just messaged me. It was a very important message. I'll reply later to them. Oh, in the background, Shiba Gamer goes off the track there. And... very lucky as well to keep the car pointed in the right direction. It's so easy because it's a high-speed corner. The tyres are hot. The car is still heavy with fuel and loaded with fuel as well. The tyres are degraded too for good measure. And you encounter understeer, horrible understeer as well. Whereas no front end on the front of the McLaren car, following the back of the dirtier of the Red Bull car. And once again, Kick is on the heels of Happy Meal as we head through turn 2. But I think he's going to repeat what he did. He's going to mirror what he did in the sprint race and stay behind and just follow Happy Meal until the final stages. He's in the best spot in the house. We know how difficult it is to overtake around it. It's just so notorious for overtaking this track. So difficult, to overtake around this track. In the normal layouts, in the reverse layouts, in the upside down one, it's just so difficult. And I think Kick will just bide his time, sit there patiently, and happily follow Happy Meal. He knows he doesn't have to overtake every single lap. He knows he doesn't have to pounce on him right now or jeopardize his position. Look at that. He saved and stored up so much EOS. And Happy Meal has got Ben in the battery too. So Kick is being very calculated so far, thinking long-term game in P2. And just being methodical in terms of his attacking as well. So look at this. In the pit lane goes Lucas for his first round of pit stops. He's the first one to commit. And Fireblaze is also pitted too. Lap 13 out 36. And this is where it all kick off in terms of a chain reaction with drivers pitting at the end of this lap. And Kick is right behind Happy Meal as we head through turn 1 side by side between these two. As we head towards turn 2, Happy Meal has the inside line and maintains the lead of the Grand Prix. A bit of a twitch for both of them on the exit of turn 2 there. But Kick tried to go all the way around the outside, but Happy Meal had the edge over him and stayed in front of him for the time being. Great defence there from the Mercedes drivers to keep the Williams up behind. And it looks like Fireblaze and Lucas rejoined the P8 and P9 on their new hardcore power tyres, but Kick is all over the back of Happy Meal for P1. So let's see if Lucas and Fireblaze can utilise their hardcore power tyres and try to do the overcut of the guys ahead. And they should now. If they can't do the overcut, I think it's going to be a long race for them being stuck in the DRS trade. So they've got to use this outlap as Fireblaze on the back of Lucas. Let's see what happens between these two. I don't think it's a wise idea for Fireblaze to fight him, or unless he can get past him quickly. But I think these two need to work together, try leapfrog their teammates for first and second place. So they can't afford to fight just yet. Oh, in the background, somebody spun. Oh, he's in the wall. Colin's in the wall. I just caught at the corner of my eye. And the poor Dutchman is in the wall. Luckily gets going once again, doesn't retire from this Grand Prix, but Kick, Happy Meal and Sheepy gave it all in the pit lane to get rid and dispose of the mini compound tyres to go onto the more durable hard compound tyres, and let's see where will they feed. This is the most important part of the Grand Prix, to see where Lucas and Fireblaze rejoin. Is it in front of the two of them? Let's have a look right now. Here they come at the pit lane. It's going to be super tight the exit. No, it's not even close. And Kick and Happy Meal stay in front, so that's a painful journey there for Lucas and Fireblaze in P6 and P7. They wanted to do an undercut, but unfortunately didn't have the pace, and now they're behind on one lap order tyres in comparison towards the guys ahead. So I think Happy Meal and Kick are in a sweet spot now to control this race. These two, ever since Kevin's mistake, have been controlling the race beautifully. Where is Kevin? Up into P2, still on the mini compound tyres, followed by Ticey in P3. But I think now the ballpark is well and truly in Happy Meal and Kick's hands. The goalpost has been shifted in the Grand Prix towards Happy Meal and Kick, but which one of those two will score? I'm surprised, because a high-speed track like this, slow-speed corners and chicanes and hairpins and banked corners, I'm surprised that Lucas and Fireblaze did not overtake their respected rivals for P4 and P5. So that's a misery of a shocker there for Lucas and Fireblaze. Did they make a mistake? Because we did see Lucas lose a lot of time, and Kevin and Ticey have both picked up penalties for speeding in the pit lane, and that's pretty much summed up their race and ended any chances of a hope for victory or podium. So Hatakas in first place is yet to pit in this race, still on the hardcore power tyres, not going all the way through, but go for a long stint before he can switch over to mini compound tyres and make them go towards the Grand Prix. So a 60.8 second gap and a safety car. Oh dear, Hatakas, what have you done? Oh no! You must have touched the grass on the outside, you surely have done. Drivers take a wide angle, and if you clip the grass or gravel, unfortunately the back of the car will just swap ends on you and spin around. Oh, what a shame for Hatakas. We just talked about him go for a long stint, and unfortunately he's picked up a bit of gravel in the entry towards the left-hander. Drivers do take a very wide angle, as you want to do. As Kevin's retired, Kevin is out of the Grand Prix. Is that a safety car? The safety car has not been deployed on this occasion. Where is he? Oh, he's retired on the track. He hasn't crashed. I thought he crashed on the track, but he hasn't. He's plainly given up there. So Kevin is out of the Grand Prix, and that is it for him. I'm pretty sure Hatakas would have got excited if a safety car came out, but still, that is a long way to go to the mini compound tyres if a safety car came out right now. So back on board then with the guys at the front of the field. Happy Meal still being followed by Kick and Lucas of Fireplays, P3, P4, P5, doing a really good job to maintain this pressure. But of course, we know what happens later in the Grand Prix when the sparks will start to set up between these guys. The fireworks will start to ignite soon, and we'll see which driver ends up atop. Will Happy Meal get his first win in Division 1? Will Kick get his second win this season? Will Lucas pick up his first win as well this season? A lot of drivers this season have a lot to prove. But Happy Meal made his debut in Div 2, and has been graduated up towards Division 1, and he's done a very good job ever since as a rival here in Division 1. We're halfway in towards the Grand Prix, almost. It's been a long race, a long way to go. We started this stream at 6:30, and we're already over an hour in, but halfway through this race. Do you know what? I don't know why I can't really complain about distance, can I? Because I've got a 24-hour race to commentate. So, yeah, this is nothing to me. This is light work, commentating for long races like these. I may need a few. I may need a coffee or two, or three, or maybe four, maybe all of them. But yeah. Somebody else has become a cropper. Is that a Red Bull again? And it's this time Leonard who's gone for a spin. Oh, what a shame for the Dutchman there. The German Dutchman who's gone for a spin, unfortunately, in the final two corners. Or should I say the first two corners. And who's that in front of us? Oh, again! Hattercast has made a mistake again, unfortunately. And these drivers all over the back of him. He's got to be very careful, though, because his tyres are very old. So the guy behind him on newer tyres have got to make their way through cleanly but safely. Here we go, down towards the back corner. Happy Meal looks to go down the inside. Is this a dive bomb? Be very careful not to the back of him. And luckily he didn't, because he's on much older tyres, of course. Yes, you have more grip, but at the same time, though, be very careful, because you don't want to hit the back of somebody on older tyres whilst they're not in your race, not in your window at all. Here we go with the DRS wide open for Happy Meal, and he should make this move now easily up towards turn 1 ahead of Goat Cheese, and Kick should do the same thing. Here comes Kick. When he make a move on the inside, he'll be desperate to get past, and he is immediately goes up into PT. Do you know what? Respect there. Respect for Hatikas. He knows now that these guys are no longer in his race. So what's the point of holding them up? You know what I mean? And become a nuisance and menace to the guys in front. Just delaying their race, potentially causing contact. I respect that a lot from Hatikas. Good sportsmanship there for the Red Bull driver. It's good that happened, because I didn't want the top 4 to lose DRS with each other and break and become disconnected in the Grand Prix. So I'm very happy that Hatikas has done it and let the guys go ahead. There's no point jeopardising somebody else's race when you jeopardise your own, you know what I mean? So I think it's fair play to him. Really shows his calibre and what a driver. He is a very good driver on his day, but of course he's been struggling this season as the Red Bull driver. He's taken a few podiums as well. Runner up in the championship last season with Eastbrand. Where has Eastbrand been? Does anybody know where that guy's been? He took a championship and disappeared. Nico Rosberg type shit right there. And Kick on the back of Happy Meal again, but 16 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. Right now he's got a lot of time to think about it, what to do, and just be calculated in terms of his attack, be coordinated, and just wait for the right time. So he's got a lot of time in store. But the question is, though, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when he's going to do it. And who else has spun down there? It looks like, who is it who's just gone for a spin? Was it a Haas driver? Colin? Gone for a little bit of a spin there. The exit of turn 2 and turn 3. Potentially, but still, he's in 11th place. He's been struggling to score points this season, has Colin in P11. So one more retirement, he's in the points. So that's very handy for him indeed. Just bear with me for a few seconds. I've got an important text to reply to, so I won't take very long. I'll still try and keep on board with this battle. I'm back once again, ladies and gentlemen. 15 laps left to go in the Grand Prix, and still Happy Meal leads. He's been leading for quite a long time now, but of course, Kick's just sitting there pretty and just waiting for his time to shine. But Happy Meal knows that Kick could just sit there in P2 and wait, so can he anticipate his attacks later in the Grand Prix and try and repent them? Try and keep him in P2. And the way he could do this is try and save battery. Right now, he's lacking battery, and the most important thing for him to do is save battery now, because if he doesn't, he's going to be vulnerable on the last few laps of the Grand Prix. So it's very important for him at this stage of the Grand Prix now to save battery. He knows that Kick is going to stay there in P2. There's no point wasting battery and energy. There's no point trying to break out of his DRS range, because clearly he hasn't got the pace to break out some of his DRS range. It's just difficult to do so anyway. But Fireblaze, however, disapproves on my comment. He's out of DRS range. Happy Meal and Kick all together in this battle for first and second place, being glued together for the whole race, just waiting for the right moment to strike. Well, Lucas in P3 must be so frustrated. You know what, as a driver, how frustrated are you just sat there in P3, P4, or in any sort of DRS train, knowing there's a chance to overtake, or knowing you've got the pace to do it, but you just can't do it because you just sat there and glued there and cemented there. It must be so frustrating following somebody for the whole race. I know what it feels like. I've been stuck in a DRS train before. Do you know what? I got stuck in a DRS train in Japan, I think, a few seasons ago, in a different league, and I didn't make a single overtake. I didn't lose one place. I didn't gain one place either. Not even in the pit stops. I was stuck in the same place for the whole race, and it was just so frustrating knowing there's no chance of moving forwards. We just hope and pray that something happens in front of you, but of course it's just the usual. Follow each other until something happens, and go Jesus pitted. But here comes Kick right behind Happy Meal, but not willing to make a move just yet. I don't know if Kick can see, but of course that's Colin's gone for Mel's this time has gone for a spin. There he is in the Racing Bull, rejoins on the circuit, but I don't know if Kick knows that Happy Meal is derating. But Kick is doing an epic job right now to try and keep at least some sizable battery in the advantage there in his disposal. Fireblaze cannot catch up. Now he's dropped away from his battle, so he's down towards these three to determine who will win the Dutch Grand Prix at their home GP. And the home GP, of course, will disappear for them at the end of 2026 as well. So quite sad, because Verstappen has got an army of fans with the Orange Army. But of course, unfortunately, these things are going to happen. I don't really have nothing harsh or negative towards this track. It's not my favourite track, of course. I don't really like it. I don't find it too bad, but at the same time, though, it could be improved. Do you know what the problem is these days? Is the modern day Formula 1 cars. I've said this as well. No matter how much track modifications you make on a circuit, it's all about the cars as well, how they're built, etc. The width of the cars, the aerodynamics, the temperatures. It's just the way they're designed as well. And they just can't follow. This has always been a factor in F1 with the wings as well, how big the cars were getting with the turbulent wake of each other. And it's very easy as well to just be stuck behind somebody and be affected by the turbulent air, then drop away. I think F1 these days as well probably got it wrong. Oh, Fireblaze has spun! Oh, Fireblaze in the wall! Oh, Fireblaze has put it in the wall. Unfortunately, has lost his end plate. That's the second driver we've seen spin through that particular part of the racetrack. And unfortunately, maybe a pit stop is required for him, as he's lost a whole chunk of his front wing. Fireblaze running P4. He spun in Silverstone, and now he's spun here at the Dutch GP. An unusual mistake there for Fireblaze. And I wonder, did he just touch the grass on the outside or lose traction? It's cost him dearly, because she became a Tyson. Tyson's up into P6 as well, so mega drive from Tyson in P6. It's Octavia up into 7th place too. Sometimes you forget to mention these drivers, but Fireblaze is now in the pit lane and unfortunately has to change over to a new set of tyres and a brand new wing as well. These are crucial points, because remember, he's fighting for P2 in the championship. Kevin's quite far away in terms of the Drivers' Championship, but in terms of pride, Fireblaze up into P2, wants to be runner-up, of course, but he's thrown away these crucial points because Kike and Lucas are in second and third place, and they're super close behind in terms of the Drivers' Championship. Do you know what? Let me get the Drivers' Championship up for you right now. And look at Happy Meal, almost at a DRS range, so we still go for it. Still good as get the DRS range of his round behind him. So Kevin leads the championship by about 50 points ahead of Kick in P2. So Kick's actually ahead of Fireblaze. Do you know what? Kick and Lucas are ahead of Fireblaze. Fireblaze's blunder and Kick and Lucas's momentum shifted has put themselves up into P2 and P3 after the British GP. So these are more points that Fireblaze is losing towards the Williams drivers. Kick is on 89, Lucas on 81, Fireblaze 77, Hazikas on 50, ahead of Eric in P6 with 45, advanced 7th place ahead of Enzo, Dylan Hogeland, and Leonard as well in P10. Finn Hertz outside the top 10 in the P11 ahead of Mike. Christian with his breakthrough podium is up into 14th place in the championship. It will gain more points, but how many though? That's the question. Is it 25? Is it 18? Who knows? We'll find out later on in this race to see how many points the Dutchman will get after this Grand Prix. But Lucas has dropped away from the DRS race. So first it was Fireblaze, now it's Lucas, and it's down to see which one of these two Titans will win this Dutch Grand Prix. Kick and Lucas, the two young Dutchmen in this race, are doing a superb job so far. There is about 10 laps left to go in the Grand Prix to decide which one of these two will stand at the top step of the podium at their home Grand Prix. Kicks go for his second win of the season, and Sheepy Gamer has got past Ticey again. These two go wheel to wheel. You know what? You don't want to blow you want to keep it nice and clear because these are big points. So Ticey up into P4 ahead of Sheepy Gamer, and this is going to be his best result of the season for Ticey. Finishes on the top 10 back at the British GP. And here we go now between Kick and Lucas. Kick and Happy Meal. Lucas has dropped away quite significantly from the top two as well, so I'm not able to keep up with the pace of the top two. His teammates pulled away, and so his Happy Meal, and we're just waiting for the dying stage of the Grand Prix to see the battle between these two. And I really hope it's going to be a great battle between these two. Can they keep it nice and clean? Will one of them bottle under pressure? Kick won in the sprint race. Can he make it 2 for 2? Or 3 for 3, shall I say, from Britain to the feature to the sprint, but we're about to find out if he can or not. Look at this, Kick almost around the outside towards turn 1, but can't make it stick. Stays behind for the moment, but look at this, around the outside, is it? In towards turn 3, he's going to make the move, it's going to be so tight, there's contact, and Kick is through. He's up into first place, but not yet. Here comes Happy Meal on the exit, as Kick gives a little bit of a signal there for Happy Meal in terms of the hand waving, but Happy Meal back down the inside though, but he can't. Oh, Happy Meal almost dropped it at the exit there on turn 4, almost lost the car, and Kick is now back up into first place. But Happy Meal now just sit behind Kick and get the DRS off him. They went side by side, and Lucas could be brought back in towards this battle as well. Kick made his move, and now he's up into first place. This time Happy Meal will get the DRS on the back of Kick, rolls for first, etc. Happy Meal now has just got to save up battery, keep the battery high, and wait for his right opportunities to overtake Kick as well. Try and catch him off guard in this race. I think Happy Meal just needs... Oh no! Oh no! Oh my goodness me! I was about to say, bide your time and keep it patient, but Happy Meal touched across to the outside, and he's lost his chances of winning and being on the podium. What a shame. Maybe on the podium still. I don't think pitting... I don't know actually, because look at the state of the front wing. He's lost a lot of balance there as well. Oh, Happy Meal. He can't let these frustrations get to you, man. You got to think long term. You had 6 laps, 7 laps to attack Lucas, kick. Sorry, you had these laps in your hands to try and get him back, but there was no need to make those risky moves, especially going down towards turn 1. It was best to just sit behind him and bide your time. But unfortunate mistake there from the young Dutchman, a rookie mistake, and inexperienced may be the cause of that for Happy Meal. A high pressure situation. He wants to do well, of course. He's still young, wants to do well, and he's pitting. Sheepy Gamer could be on the podium here in P5. And what a drive for him as well in P5 to be on the podium. Happy Meal is now in the pit lane to get rid of his front wing and on the soft compound tyres. But, wow, what a day for Sheepy Gamer. If he can keep it nice and clean, I don't think Happy Meal could catch back up. Maybe Gas could get the podium too. He's not too far away from these two. He's on the really compound tyres. But of course, he also made a big mistake in this race too when he spun twice in the gravel. Hence why he's so far down in the field. So now we're pretty much separated in this Grand Prix. There is 6 laps left to go. And it's turned, unfortunately, in towards a anti-climatic race. I was expecting the climatic of this race to build up to its boiling points, but unfortunately, Happy Meal dropped it at the exit of turn 2, and in the wall he went. And any chance for him winning this Grand Prix, home Grand Prix, is done and dusted for him. So now, Lucas and Kick, first and second place. It's going to be another Williams 1-2, believe it or not. Fantastic for both of them, and this will definitely help him in terms of the Constructors' Championship, especially with McLaren not scoring. Well, Kevin not scoring. They're only 4 points behind McLaren or Williams, so they could take over the Championship Constructors leader, called Williams there, ahead of McLaren. So it's a very good day so far for Williams boys in first and second place. Just good to keep it nice and clean. Gas is catching the back of these two. He could be a shot caller for the podium here in P3. Not over yet. There's far less to go. He's slowly but surely catching these two. So watch out for him. He could be a threat towards these two. So Sheepy Gamer has still got to work hard to keep the Dutchman behind him for the podium. Oh, Ticey, man, as well. He could be on course for a podium, but unfortunately he does have that 3-second time penalty. We know Kickstarter so far this season has been struggling. They're currently down in 8th in the championship with 7 points only. Haas got 2 and Aston Martin got 1. But Thortavi is about to change that with P6 to become his best result of the season for Thortavia. Lock it up, going towards the braking zone there is Sheepy Gamer, knowing that Hazikas is quite close behind. The gap is 1.6 seconds, so small amount of time is being taken out of the advantage of the McLaren in front of him. And Hazikas is almost within DRS range of the 2 ahead of him for podium. Unexpected podium has started to arise after the mistakes from Fireblaze and Happy Meal. Hazikas got all of a sudden found himself back on the podium. And look at this, Sheepy Gamer right to the back of Ticey, but not willing to make a move just yet. Oh, on the grass he goes in turn 2. We saw the Happy Meal to the grass, but didn't spin out this time, did Sheepy Gamer. I feel sorry for Happy Meal, but you've got to take time. You've got to be level-headed as well. You've got to be calm at all times. And patience is a virtue and a key. Oh, down the inside goes Sheepy Gamer. That's a risky move. A move he doesn't really need to make. And plus, the charging Red Bull. Oh, contact is made. And yes, that explains why you should be more patient. Because Gas now is on the back of you with that mistake. It's so, you know what, it's easy for me to say in hindsight, you know what I mean? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but in the moment, you're not really thinking straight, you just want to do and get, don't you? I know for me, as a commentator now, more than a racer, it's easy for me to say this and that, but of course, in the moment, you don't really think that far ahead, do you? Unless you can, of course. Lap 33 out of 36 though, in this race, the gap is 2 seconds between Lucas and Kick, and the Williams are pretty much controlling this Grand Prix now. Nobody is going to challenge them. But the path for P3 is not over just yet between Ticey, Sheepy Gamer, Gas. So we're still entertained to a battle at least for podium between Ticey, Sheepy and Hatton. And Gas is now all over the back of McLaren driver. Is he vulnerable to him on the hard compound tyres? We'll see if he can defend this in turn 5, but stays ahead of the Red Bull. But the Red Bull driver just creeping in slowly but surely. And Ticey, with that 3-second penalty, will definitely fall off the podium. So it's down to Sheepy Gamer. Maybe Sheepy Gamer can use the DRS at the back of Ticey to keep the Red Bull at bay. But the Red Bull driver might have a bit more grip and pace on those mini-comp powered tyres. So it might be a bit of a struggle. But here we go. Plunging down the hill in towards the braking zone. But the Sheepy Gamer defends that. And Hattegas is forced to just back away. But now this could be a big chance for Hattegas as Sheepy Gamer went a bit deep as we head down towards turn 1, the final corner. He goes up the inside, in towards the first corner, and he does get ahead, only just. They both have the DRS on the back of the Kick Sauber, but the Red Bull driver gets ahead of the McLaren and puts himself up into P4 now. And this should be a big chance for him to get that podium. Next target for him is Ticey in P3, and Happy Meal is on the back of Octavia 2 for P6. On the soft car tyres there. He pitted to get rid of his front wing after he broke it a couple of laps ago. It's a shame not to have Milan here for the whole race, but of course he's got a different league. He's always had the different league, but with the format of this league changed, or being kept the same in terms of the settings, but the timing is different. We start at 6:30, half an hour later, and Gijs says Williams W again. Exactly. It's going to be another 1-2 for Williams, and we haven't really seen this sort of pace from Williams since last season and season before, when in a championship fight with Ferrari all those seasons ago. Kick, of course, been a champion of SDN a couple of seasons ago with Fireblaze 2, and Happy Meal has not yet overtaken. So Hattegas is up to P3 ahead of Ticey now, and Happy Meal is ahead of Octavia for P6. Gijs says he's the team boss. What, a Kick Sauber? If you are the team boss of Kick Sauber, you should be happy because your driver is up to P4 doing a solid job, and this could be his highest finish in Division 1 this season. I know Kick Sauber are 8th in Championship. They do struggle to get themselves regularly inside the top 10. But days like this, we capitalise on other people's mistakes and take the opportunity by your hands. And he's certainly doing a really good job so far in P4. The last lap of the Grand Prix has just started here in Zandvoort. It's a Dutch podium 1, 2 and 3. Of course, majority cut out there just a bit too, so hopefully you can hear me just now. But luckily this stream is still going. I was complaining about the stream because earlier on today I had a few bugs. Earlier on this week I had a few bugs. And Williams team principal, we had no hope all 2 rounds ago. Now we are getting P1 by a mile. So Gijs is a very happy Dutchie with his 2 drivers on the podium, first and a second place. Look at this man, we're on board with Kick right now. Just witnessing some brilliant driving. He kept a stable head for the whole race during the qualifying, the sprint and the race itself. Never put a foot wrong as Kick. He may almost lost the victory on the line towards Kevin Zubber, but Kevin ran out of fuel and Kick won in the sprint race. He's done an epic job to bounce back here in the feature race. He also won back in Silverstone to take his first victory since 2 seasons ago. But here we go around the final corner. The day belongs to Kick as he makes his way slowly towards the line. It is Kick who wins the Dutch GP ahead of Lucas, but Lucas wins the Dutch GP. Oh, Kick, that's a very nice gesture from you. But Lucas wins the Dutch GP ahead of Kick. Hattegas finishes at P3. What an amazing teammates those two are. They're both amazing teammates, I must say. Always working well with each other. Always got a good relationship with each other. And here comes Hattegas back at the podium for an epic P3. Ticey does have that 10-second penalty, so down to P6 he goes. But still, his best result of the season. Octavia now gets P6 for his best result of the season. And TVH NL is on the top 10 ahead of Fireblaze. Colin in P10. Colin gets a point. Well done to Colin. He finishes inside the point. Amazing job for him to finish in P10. My drive of the day for sure. Oh, Kicker Lucas, why are you going to do that? Why are you going to ruin my my build up towards the checkered flag? I look like a fool now. But yeah, look at this. Dutch domination at its best here in SDN. First, second, and third place, all Dutches. The Williams boys are very happy as we watch the Haas in the garage for some reason. The champagne is spraying. The driver's getting wet, full of champagne. And the reverse race is over, and there are your results. The driver of the day is Ticey on this game. That is it for the Dutch GP. Join us. Well, unfortunately, guys, before I leave, I'm gonna wait for some more people to get in the chat. So just bear with me for a few seconds. I want to make an announcement before we all kick things off. Just waiting for some people to join this live stream so I can say what I want to say. So just bear with me for a few seconds, try and get some more people in. If I can't, it's all good. I can announce it in the chat, but I feel like it's better to say it here. So hopefully more people do join this live stream and I can make this announcement. Do you know what? I'll just say it right now. Next week, as you all know, me and Milan Langer are not going to be here on Friday because we're both doing something very, very special and important. We are both commentators for a go-karting race, for the endurance race, for the 24-hour event happening in Lelystad on the 4th and 5th of October. And it's going to be live streamed on the Dutch Racing Series YouTube channel, so please tune in to watch us commentate for the first ever time in real life and together as well. It's going to be such an epic and amazing event. I am very nervous, excited, but this definitely does open up some doors and opportunities in the future as a commentator. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's going to be amazing, fun new experience for me. Probably an overwhelming one, but we'll definitely get used to it. The nerves will definitely be unsettling, but I can't wait. And thank you very much for the support, everybody. I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks.